Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is the weekly energy card reading for November 23rd through November 30th. This card reading is a tarot and oracle, and today playing cards card reading that will determine your energies for the next week. Now, all of my card readings are what they refer to as universal, meaning that they really are good for whatever time you find the reading. So if you feel drawn to any of my readings at any time, it might state a particular date on it, but if you were drawn to it at whatever time you come across the reading, it would mean that that reading is the one for you today, at this moment. So I wanted to also just reiterate that if you ever want to skip the introductions and go straight to your reading, all of the timestamps are listed in the description box below, as are the name and authors of all of the decks that I use. Today is kind of a special reading. As you can see, I have a special tablecloth. Today is actually a National Espresso Day. And I am a huge coffee lover. If you follow my channel, I probably haven't mentioned that too much, but I do. I love coffee. I love coffee. And what it is the International Coffee Day actually occurred the week before, like it was about 4 days before I actually started my channel. I started my channel on October 1st, and I think it was like September 27th. So I was real excited when I saw that there was going to be another National Espresso Day. Now the pattern on my little table cover here is all lattes, which is my personal drink of choice, but today is actually National Espresso Day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to host our regular weekly reading, and what the way that this works is that you have 3 tarot decks in a minute, and you can again go to the timestamp if you want to go scrub forward straight to your reading. I will freeze frame and let you choose a deck. When you choose a tarot deck, the tarot is the meat of the reading. Tarot gives the most descriptive, energies. And what I do is I just kind of pull your energies. I say, okay, deck 1, what are the energies that are going to manifest for your week? And what I do is I just kind of, based on the current events of your life, I determine, from the symbols on the card, I kind of read a story. And that's what tarot is. It's reading a story based on the symbols in a card. And I will read the symbols in the card and just kind of give an idea of what your upcoming 7 days, or again, whenever you find the reading, what might be going on for you during that time. Now, again, today is a very special read for several reasons. After you choose your tarot deck, I will pull your tarot cards. But in addition, I am going to clarify using a deck of playing cards. These are coffee themed. They are by Starbucks. So what it is that playing cards can be read. What it is playing cards can be read the same way that the minor arcana can be read. There are no, what it is tarot is broken up by major arcana and minor arcana. Minor arcana is 10 cards and then 4 royals for 4 different elements. So to break that down, there's the suit of wands, and you have the ace of wands through the 10 of wands. Then you have a page, a knight, a king, and a queen. And when you look at playing cards, oh, and look at this, we got the King of Cups. And I love this deck. He's holding coffee. Again, this is great. This is going to be a fun read. But what it is that playing cards work the exact same way. It has a 1 through 10, which is the ace through the 10. And then it also has, it has a page, which is the, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting off here. It has a jack, king, and a queen, and it has an ace. So we basically go through and read the cards just like that. We read the jacks as knights. And there are also 2 jokers, and I keep the jokers in. And what the joker is it's like a double opportunity. The joker means the fool. it's like probably the one major arcana that gets represented. So now there are other ways to read playing decks. There's kind of a Lenormand style, but the way that I'm going to be reading it today, if anybody is familiar, I'm just going to be reading it as if, like for instance, 3 of Hearts would be 3 of Cups, 9 of Hearts would be 9 of Cups, 8 of Spades would be the 8 of Swords. Wow, getting some energy off this already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clarify. Ooh, Jack, the Knight of Pentacles. He came out in the D&D reading. Okay. I host on the 20th of each month. I have a Dungeons and Dragons reading, and the Knight of Pentacles, I think deck 1 got him. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, after you pick your deck, I will go ahead and clarify your week, and I will go ahead and read your week based on your tarot deck, and then I will go ahead and clarify using the deck of cards. Now, to further clarify, I think it was last week I did, I have meditation decks, and this is a very special meditation deck. In the description, the name and the author will be in the description box below. This is actually a vintage deck, and what it does is on one side it has a symbol, and on the other side it has a meditation practice. I'm just going to read that as a clarifier. It'll just be something helpful that if you do meditate, or if you just want something to kind of help guide you through the week, this would be advice or a meditation practice. And I've got a opal stone on top of that. And then one last final clarifier is I'm going to go ahead and use this is my conversation dice. It's actually a wooden tile game, and there's keywords on each of the dice. So I'm just going to throw one die, and go ahead, and that'll be the last clarification of your reading. Now, what makes today's reading so special is that after, when I read using the Starbucks playing cards, I have a special giveaway for you. And I know I'm a new channel, and I know I have a beloved 8 followers. I'm so grateful. But what it is I like to do giveaways. And I'm good with a sewing machine, so I make card bags. Actually, lately I've been making Christmas gift bags to kind of act as like a recycling, to kind of, I'm a big recycler too. I don't like to do a lot of paper that has to be thrown away. So what I did is, using the beautiful tablecloth fabric that you see here, I went ahead and made a card bag, and inside, dun 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 dun, can you see? Let's keep it in focus. Inside, you have a brand new deck. I'm sorry, it's a lot easier. It's sideways, but it is easy to get out. I'm just fumbling here. Inside, you have not only is a sealed deck of the Starbucks playing cards, the exact same playing cards that I'll be using in today's reading, but you also have a $5 gift card to Starbucks for coffee. And I think this is so cute. I love it. The little design on the card actually looks like a latte, and again, if you couldn't tell, I'm a latte girl. So what I've done, and this is a great reusable bag. Now, it's a little imperfect. It's made with a sewing machine, but I assure you it's very soundly made. It has lining, and it has a drawstring closure. And what it is that the card and the deck is inside, and you don't even have to subscribe to win. Just like my other giveaways, all you have to do is leave an emoji, and if you can see this, it's got a beautiful lining. It's very nice. And again, it's a little imperfect, but it's great if you even wanted to reuse it to, give a gift, or if you wanted to give this, the cards and the gift card away as a Christmas gift. All you have to do is leave a comment. Just leave a comment. You don't even have to subscribe or like if you don't want to, but if you leave a comment, you will be entered to win the bag. And I'm hoping that we will have enough entries. I know I'm a new channel, but I'm hoping we have enough entries by well before Christmas. I will pick a name before Christmas, and I'll go ahead and mail you the bag and the deck and the gift card. So this is definitely a really nice giveaway. I'm really excited about this one. And you'll get a chance to see the cards. Whatever deck you choose, we're going to be clarifying using the playing cards. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get started. And I'll pause the video and let you choose your deck, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Are we in focus? Yes, good. Now, deck number 1 is the Vice Versa Tarot, and my friend tumbles stones, and I just wanted to share with you, this is the most amazing stone. Again, the lighting at night doesn't do it justice, but what it is it's a mix of a Dalmatian jasper and a smoky quartz, and I don't know if you can see this, it's just so freaking gorgeous. But we're going to go ahead and use the Vice Versa Tarot. So deck number 1, for November 23rd to November 30th, or whenever you found this video, what is the energies of, ooh, all right. Now the Vice Versa Tarot is special because this way is the back, this is considered the inverse, and the front is considered the card itself. And wow, you guys are starting off good. Okay, it's a very real deck. Ooh, okay. I'm noting the cards that we see throughout. Wow, you guys got some powerful energies. Ooh, and we got the 7 of Swords on top, guys. Ah. It's a little bit of the sneaky Pete card, I'm not gonna lie, but all right. So let's see how we're gonna do this. Deck number 1, what's the energies for your week? Ooh, okay, hold on. All right, this is really kind of sticking me in the thumb. Okay, I'm gonna take these two together because they really want to go. I'm trying to be better about sticking to like an exact spread. I like exact spreads because they do help. They do give, you know, you say, okay, this position means thus, but sometimes the way the symbols come out, I do have to interpret it a certain way, and just because I'm drawn to, and that's kind of what it's telling me, the messages. So I do try to, you know, I try not to improvise too much. I really do love these cards. I know this sounds so dumb, but because it's a vintage deck, and I clean my cards. Anytime I buy used cards, and not to sound paranoid, but I use a little bit of a water and alcohol solution just to disinfect. You know, cards are like books, but it's amazing how these cards, they're not stinky. And I've definitely I'll have to host a completely different video about how to handle stinky cards, because that's a thing. That's a thing that not many people talk about. But these cards actually have a little bit. Ooh. And I got, you know, it's funny, I got this card this week. I love it, it's really beautiful. But this deck is vintage. It's from, well, vintage, it's from 2003. It's not that old, but when you think about it, that's almost 20 years. Oh God. You guys, we're going into the 20s. When did this happen? Oh goodness. But these cards have a little bit of a library book smell. I don't know if I'm a weirdo. Well, I'm a weirdo. I've accepted this. The things I do is just strange. But, I love the smell of, you know how library book is a smell? These cards have a little bit of that. They're not funky. I've had some funky cards. All right, I'm gonna get to shushing, but they have the vintage book smell. All right, so deck number 1. Wow, I'm kind of loose for deck number 1 this week. That's actually a good thing. Normally I warm up towards the end of the reading. Okay, consider a koan. All right. That's the one thing about this deck too, is that it'll flip over and it'll show me the message, and that's its way of saying, you know, this is your card. And oh, it's so beautiful. Gosh, the top card is really going with my opal there. All right, last step, and then I'll get to shushing and get to reading, is we're gonna roll your dice. Wild. All right. I don't know if you've seen this. You got the tile that said wild. So I'm not saying it's wild, I'm saying that's what it says. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the energies of this week. Let me just read your card real quick. Okay. All right, guys. Well, the beginning of your week, you probably got the best card ever. You got the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is that emotional fulfillment card. And I know, again, the lighting doesn't do it justice, but these are very realistic. The vice versa deck is very realistic. And I love the way that the water just looks so, you got 10 upright cups, and you got two people that look like they're on a desert island, right? Hugging each other. I mean, really, the guy has ragged clothes on. Both of them look like they're stranded. But I'm sorry, my plant just touched my hand right now. I don't know if that means something. But and then a rainbow underneath. And the Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. It's the happiness that money can't buy. And the beginning of the week, I'm getting the feeling like, I'm definitely getting that this is a relationship kind of read. I have a feeling that there's someone that you want reconnection with. I think there's someone that you want to hug. It's like, I think this is your goal. This is a very kind of romantic kind of card. It can be a little bit of a fantasy. It can be a daydream. And, with the rainbow, and it's like the happily ever after card. It really is. So by the beginning of the week, I might sneeze. If I do, I will turn away from the mic. Okay, no, it went away. But I get this feeling like, I'm not getting the vibe that this reconciliation has happened yet, but I'm getting the vibe that by the beginning of the week, there's going to be a mental, that there's someone on your mind that you really, really need some kind of reconciliation with. And the goal of it, the intention of it is going to be very firm in your mind starting the beginning of the week. The reason that I feel like it's a mental kind of energy is because underneath it, or the bridging energy, is you got the Six of Spades, which is the Six of Swords. And traditional tarot, the Six of Swords is the two people and a child in a boat crossing rocky waters to more solid shores. And when you look at this, two people are on a shore, right? It's almost like the Six of Swords, like the raft went to the other shore and everyone got off the boat. But when you see it here, the island is coming before the Six of Swords. So that's what's telling me that this is an intention. This hasn't happened yet. So I'm not just pulling this out of the ether or anywhere else. Sorry. Again, I'm pretty loosened up for your first reading. I'm sorry, guys. Normally deck 3 gets my goofiness, but so this is telling me it's an intention, because you're imagining being on that other shore, but this is the coming before the actual action of going to the other shore. So now, and again, I also see it because the blue in the Six of Spades almost looks like the sky. So again, rainbow in the sky makes me think, and the swords or the spades are mental energy. It's mental. So while the cups are emotional, you want this. Emotionally, you want this. Mentally, you haven't taken the action. The mental has not occurred yet, but it's almost like you're imagining getting to the other side, and in your heart space, you're already on the island, already crossed the waters, but you mentally, it's all mental at this point. Now you see it goes from blue to gold, or blue to gold to red, which is action. And by the middle of the week, what you got a reverse card. And I know this is going to look a little funny, but I'll show you the back first so you can see it. Now, first thing we want to make note of is you got the Sphinx. In the background, you see the Sphinx. And honestly, if you I do hold a series called How to Tarot, and in the Chariot episode, we talked about the Sphinx. The Sphinx is that Egyptian mix of a pharaoh and a cat and a god, and they rule the riddle of the Sphinx. Basically, they're mystery. They're the unknown. And what you're seeing is you're seeing the back of a very organic throne. And when you flip it around, dun dun dun, you got got the Queen of Wands. You got the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a very independent lady. She is the queen of fire energy, and she wears red really darn well. And what it is she knows her identity, she knows her soul. You can see this woman holds a rod and she does not mess around. No queen messes around. But what it is she knows what action to take. She knows her identity. She's quite dynamic. She's quite popular. She's quite beautiful. And again, she knows she's a dynamic character. And what it is unfortunately by the middle of the week, this is either you or you are dealing with the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Now, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, she can be a drama queen. It can be someone who's stirring up drama for no reason. But the energy that I'm getting, the vibe I'm getting, is I'm seeing the back of the throne, and the fact that I'm seeing the Sphinx, and in a minute the Sphinx is going to play into your meditation. I have a feeling that this reconciliation, this peaceful outcome that you're mentally envisioning and you're emotionally wanting, is with a dynamic, with a Queen of Wands character. Now, the Queen of Wands doesn't necessarily have to be female. She most likely is, but I have a feeling that emotionally and mentally you want to be with this Queen of Wands entity, this person who exudes the Queen of Wands energy, but you're looking at this person from the back of their throne. It's almost like you're coming up behind them. Not to sound creeperish, but I think that you are approaching them and they're just not aware of you, or you feel like they're not aware of you. I don't really get the vibe that that the Queen of Wands is purposely ignoring you. I just think that she's got a lot going on. The Queen of Wands is a very dynamic person. She has a lot going on. She's usually, first off, I know it sounds weird to use the word entertaining as a descriptor, but she's, the Queen of Wands is energetic. She's very warm. She's usually the heart of a family. If she's a mom or a girlfriend, she's very fun to be around. She's very energetic. And I get this feeling like you're approaching her from the back, like she doesn't know that you're coming. That's the feeling that I'm getting. She doesn't know that you're coming. She doesn't know that this is what you want with her. You want her to be the woman in this card, right? You want the Queen of Wands, and she's a little bit of a redhead in this card and a little bit brunette in the 10. But you're approaching this person and like, okay, can you get on the raft with me? Will you get on the raft with me? But she's kind of unaware. She doesn't know either that, or you might feel like she's ignoring you. Now, the Three of Cups is, and again, I'm seeing it as kind of like a bridge. This is bridging into this is bridging into that. Can you see? Okay, I'll go over that again. This is bridging into this card, that's bridging into that. Now, the bridge is the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is the victory card. It shows the celebration. It's usually depicted as three women holding up cups. The vibe I'm getting is that I am getting a little bit of a voyeuristic vibe. I have a feeling that this is your intentions with this person, but by the middle of the week, you're just going to you're going to be afraid to approach. You're going to feel like they're either purposely turning their back on you, or that you're not able to approach them because they're going to be too busy with their girlfriends or with other people, not in a romantic way, but they're just going to be out and about and doing really energetic things the way that they do, that they're not really paying attention to you. So you have this goal in mind, but you go to approach them and they're not receptive because they really can't see you coming. And honestly, you see all this is blue, and then this transitions all into red and gold. So it's kind of difficult to, how do you get someone alone to say, hey, I've been thinking about this, are you down? And she's out, laughing or having fun, and you doesn't even know you're there, or that's at least how you're perceiving it. And again, this can be a man who's just exuding those energies. Now, by the end of the week, you got the Temperance card reversed. And Temperance is a really beautiful card. It's the angel that is mixing two energies together. And honestly, the two cups contain water and fire. And the fact that fire is one of, and the fact that you have cups, which is water and fire, and again, blue and red, this is inverse. This is in the reverse. So it means that it's hindered, it's blocked. Since we see the back of the card, what we see is in the background, you see the little hammock that hold, what it is all the cards play into one another. And this is the bridge where the hangman used to kind of be held up by one foot. Now you can clearly see it's empty now. So the hangman got off of his rack, right? So what's happening is, I have a feeling the hangman was you. And what happened was the hangman got off the rack and said, okay, this is what I want. I want reconciliation. I want to go to, I'm envisioning, a calmer destination, and, some kind of truce. I'm getting truce. I'm hearing truce. And that's what you want. Now, but I'm seeing that it's pretty much going to be blocked. And it's, again, because you feel like this person's too busy to either notice you, or they feel like you might perceive like they're ignoring you. Now, what's really interesting is at the bottom, you see the back of the angel, and you see the empty, the hangman has gotten off the arch and has, taken action. He's no longer hung up on, he's no longer deciding. You have the falcon or the eagle, and you got the lion. And let me just tell you right now, lion rules Leo, the sun sign of Leo, and a Queen of Wands is very much a Leo lady. She almost looks like a lion, right? So what I kind of get from this is that you might be coming up against a few issues of pride. You might feel like this person has their back to you because they're being stubborn or prideful. Either that or you're being stubborn and prideful. But what you're doing is you are just you're still, now the good thing is that the hangman is no longer evaluating. He's gonna make a decision, but I do think that I'm getting a real feeling like you're waiting for the right time. Yeah, you're waiting for the right time. And again, I hope I'm on the right track with this. I go with my gut. But this is your reading, this is your energy. But you're going to play it by ear. There you go. Okay, spot on the nose, bop the nose. All right, you're going to play it by ear because, again, I'm not getting the vibe that the Queen of Wands is intentionally ignoring you. She's just living her life. She's living a good life. She's living her best life. And I think it might be a little intimidating. That lion is a little intimidating. And a lioness is doubly intimidating because she's beautiful and she's dynamic, and approaching that is a little bit of a task. But I love the fact that the Three of Cups, like you want victory. You want to join that crowd. I'm getting this vibe like you want to join the Three of Cups. You want to join the party. This party that she has going on, you kind of want to just, and I'm getting the feeling like you're feeling like that's probably the best approach, is to somehow kind of blend in, kind of merge in with the crowd that's around her, and then kind of maybe get a moment with her, because you see it transitions into the King of Cups. The King of Hearts, or the King of Cups, and he's drinking a frappe. Again, if you want to comment to win these cards, they're really quite cute. But the King of Cups is the King of Hearts is the King of Cups. And this is an emotionally mature guy. And he's got a great beard. And when he approaches this person, he's going to be emotionally on the level. So by the end of the week, you're coming true. You're coming, if you are the King of Cups and you're approaching a fire lady, again, you might have some water in your chart, but you want to approach her in a right way. And the fact that, again, it's going from blue to red, you're going to match her energy. You're going to match, and you're going to find a right way to approach this person. But you are biding your time, and you're kind of looking for the way to get in. You're looking for a way to approach, but you're doing it with very emotionally correct you're doing it in a way that the King of Cups is a very emotionally mature person. He does things for the right reason. He would never intentionally hurt someone. If he comes and asks to, if he shares his emotions, he does it very, very honestly, and he's a little vulnerable, but in a very strong way. That's the beautiful thing about the King of Cups, is that that's a very tough thing to come up and say, maybe I like you, or, would you be interested in going out with me, something like that. But the King of Cups knows his heart, and when he gives his heart or his emotional attention to someone, he's very true. Now, the tile that you got is you got wild. You got wild. And I just see these two animals here. I see the eagle and I see the lion. And the eagle is truth. And it's very direct. It's very direct. And the fact that we got Leo here and then we got the King of Cups, I have a feeling that you feel, when I see wild, I kind of feel like it's the Queen, but then I also feel like I am getting kind of a feeling, I know that I'm attaching the tile along with this card. I'm seeing the symbolism is attached to the term wild, and it's right above the King of Cups. So I'm getting a feeling like maybe inside the King of Cups has, or the King of Hearts has an ego, but he also has a great emotional intelligence. He has an intelligence. He wants to share his feelings, and his feelings are a little bit wild, but I feel like he has tamed them. He has tamed them to approach the Queen. He has gotten them on the same page, but he just hasn't had an opportunity to express them. And he wants to express them. He wants, the lion is wild, but he has a pattern to his behavior. The eagle is truthful, and he expresses them. Eagles express themselves very succinctly. They are truth. They are honesty. They are, coming through with a message. So I have a feeling that the King of Hearts is the wild person, but he's gotten his energies into balance, and he really, really wants to share that knowledge, or, share that with the Queen of Wands. Now, the direction that you got is you got a really beautiful meditation card. So your advice is, in Zen Buddhism, pupils are encouraged to meditate. Pupils are encouraged to meditate on koans, paradoxical questions that cannot be answered logically. Answers come in a momentary flash of insight, which can occur at any time. Imagine the koan, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Floats across the mind. Do you actively try to find an answer? Imagine you have asked a mentor who listens without replying. Do you expect an immediate awakening? If insight does not come today, perhaps it will come tomorrow. Now, what I think is really interesting is that beyond, it says, paradoxical questions, and you're looking at the back of the Queen of Wands, and what's in the distance beyond the Queen of Wands? It's the Sphinx. It's a riddle. It's an unanswered paradoxical question. And here it's saying, if insight does not come today, perhaps it will come tomorrow. So I think your meditation is to go into meditative thought. And again, you got the Temperance in reverse. You're not going to get this balance today. It's not coming today. But you have your energies in check, right? You have the King of Cups has his energies in balance. So think of questions. Okay, what's the riddle? What's the unsolvable riddle? How do I approach the Queen of Wands? Or what's the sound of one hand clapping? You kind of want to roll the riddle over in your head and see what the best solution would be. But it may not, the action that you need to take this week and again, a lot of red. So this is red. Red is action, but the fact that it's Temperance in reverse, it's the Queen of Wands in reverse. The Three of Cups is clarifying, and the King of Cups is an emotional action card. But if it's coming under these reverse cards, yeah, this week might not be the week, but definitely keep the balance between on your wild side, and think about the riddle. Think about the riddle, and the answer will come to you. If you meditate on the riddle, the answer will come. All right, deck number 1. Wow, that was intense. That was a little wild. Not even intense. That was deep. That was deep. All right. So, are we in focus? Yes. I'm sorry. We have a very busy pattern. I love it though. So deck number 2, you got the Slow Tarot by Lacey, Bryant. I love this deck. And you got a Bloodstone. I'm sorry if I didn't say that in the description. You got a Bloodstone, which is also really cool. It's like a greenish brown stone. It's good for. I understand that it's good for purging emotions, negative emotions. So deck number 2. All right. What's your energy? Oh, another Three of Cups. That came out last reading. So what is the energy for the deck number 2's week? What's the middle of deck number 2's week? Okay, this is kind of sticking me in the thumb. Oh, okay. Okay, is the Ten of Wands the right card? Oh, wow. All right. Just for the record, anytime cards come out in a big splay like that, it usually means a little bit of confused energy. I do kind of look at the top cards to see what's going on. We got the Nine of Wands, we got the Devil, the Star. Wow. Three of Pentacles, the Magician, Hangman. You're working hard at something and it's giving you a new perspective, but you're hoping, it is definitely a lot of work, and you're hoping for a better outcome. Ten of Wands, is there any clarifier? Ten of Wands is actually a really beautiful card, all of this. Judgment's in the Six of Wands. Wow, you want victory over something that seems like a real, why am I going to deck 3? A little out of it today, guys, sorry. So, deck number 2, what's the bridge between, again, this is the deck that you can win. This is the playing cards Starbucks deck, so leave a comment if you want to win these. I have a deck that you can win, so you can win the cards that I'm using today. Please clarify, thank you. Please clarify Ten of Wands to the moon. To the moon, Alice, to the moon. Oh, wow, guys. All right, here, I'm gonna go with this top card, but I'm gonna take note of the Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords. Wow. Holy Toledo, guys. Okay, just for the record, and I gotta read it like I see it. This came out behind the clarifier, but just for the record, we've got Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords, so a real kind of just the facts ma'am kind of woman, and then a very, very painful ending. King of Pentacles, which is the provider. Four of Swords, which is the let me think and recoup, and the Four of Swords is becoming between the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So if you have and the King of Pentacles looks like he's looking at the Queen of Swords. That really tells me a man who has had a really bad falling out with a woman who's not quite witchy, but will really she can very verbally put him in his place. The Ten of Swords is a kind of an ending card. And then you've got someone who's very mature and fiscally stable, and between the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, which is kind of like an interference between the two, there is a moment of pause or healing. It's almost as if the king is taking a moment out to, I hope that wasn't too much to describe, but I had to, and that's the backstory behind the Three of Wands, which is a waiting card. All right, wow, that took a turn. Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay. And again, I'm just reading the story. Escape from the darkness. Whew. All right, deck two. Deck two. Good googly moogly. All right. Sorry, I know I use dorky expressions, but that's deep. That's intense. Survival. Wow, guys. All right, let's get into it. We're already in it. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. All right, deck number two, and I love the slow tarot because it's real deal Holyfield. So the beginning of the week, you got the Three of Cups, and I was just talking about this last deck, but it's three women holding cups, and here it's kind of great. Again, the slow tarot is a real world deck. So here, Three of Cups is a celebratory meeting. It can also mean just hanging out with friends. I'm getting a real hanging out with friends vibe. I'm not getting a real work vibe, but I think that you are staying within your friend group. I think what you're doing is you're staying within a group that makes you feel comfortable and happy. And, you know, a group that you can be yourself around. I'm really getting that vibe. And you can see with the Bridge of Roses, and you know, there's three, and these are not family members. It's three different people, but you can tell that they enjoy each other's company. And you know, Three of Cups is a celebration card. I mean, a lot of times it can be read as third party. Everybody reads it as third party. You could read it that way, but here I'm not really getting that vibe. I have a feeling that after seeing the spread that I just did, I have a feeling that you've been through some stuff, and you're kind of staying in a zone where you want to be around people who understand and respect you. And you know, if you do have anything to celebrate in your life, like maybe you've had some accomplishments at work, or you know, financially, if you do anything to celebrate, I have a feeling, and the fact that the one woman on the left is kind of pouring the champagne for the other two, I have a feeling, I'm getting this vibe like you have two people, you have two persons that are very close to you, good friends, that you share your deepest triumphs with. And I think by the beginning of the week, that's what you're going to be doing. Now, the beginning of the week into the middle of the week, I think at the beginning of the week, you might have been celebrating a little bit. This could be coming off the cuff of the weekend, and to be honest, it might be an off-pay week. We've all been like that. Like, you know, you get your paycheck and you eat and drink like a queen and a king for that weekend, and then Monday hits and it's like, oh crap, I spent way too much money. I'm going to be eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, hopefully peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and not less than that, for the next 7 days. Because what it does is by the middle of the week, you bridge using the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles, or the Four of Diamonds, is kind of that, it's a little bit of the hoarding money card, but not in a bad way. We are coming up on the holidays, and we are coming up on Thanksgiving, so it might be that you just are just like, oh crap, you know, it does get expensive, you know, last minute things, turkey trimmings, desserts, you know, if anything springs up, you're going to just feel a little bit more frugal with your money. You're not going to be really wanting to peel off that dollar, you know, and we've all been there. But you want to be generous, but you're going to be a little bit more mindful of your money, maybe because you spent a little too much over the weekend, let's be honest, because they're you know, the drinks are flowing there, and then all of a sudden it goes into Ebenezer Scrooge. So not in a bad way, but you might be minding your checkbook or doing an evaluation of how much you spent. By the middle of the week, you got the Ten of Wands, and this is probably the first time anyone's seen this card on this channel. It's really a good depiction. You see kind of a middle-aged man who's not quite to retirement yet, but he's carrying 10 wands, and in the background you see the structure of a house right? And what's so beautiful about this card is that, first off, sunlight means, victory, but you've got what looks like blackbirds, and then around him he has bees. And I think worker bee, and I think harbingers of change, but definitely true to any 10 of Pentacles, that's way too many rods for him to carry. He's a strong man. He's known work. He's worked for a long time, but it's almost like he's got to put a few of those rods down. Just because he's done it in the past, just because he's the tough guy, doesn't mean that he has to carry all that by himself. And oh my gosh, I love this deck. It's so gorgeous. Does that not? You got the worker bee. Actually, all of these are bees. I'm sorry. It looked, for a minute there, it looked like these are all bees. It's the worker bee card. By the middle of the week, you're almost going to be throwing yourself into work. Maybe you'll be working more it is possible, because it is this time of year, maybe you're putting in extra hours to earn more money, that way the paycheck before Christmas will be a little bit more padded. But by the middle of the week, you're really throwing yourself into work, but it is cautioning you that you're taking on a little bit more than you need to. And I'm also seeing kind of extremes. I'm seeing extremes. 1 minute you're kind of, really living it up with friends and money's no object. Then it's, okay, I need to be frugal and save money. Then you're going straight to the extreme of let me work my butt off. And then by the end of the week, the bridge is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands, it is kind of waiting for your ships to come in. It's, and I know that's, I don't eye roll, but there's certain stereotypical meanings of these cards, and I get mad at myself when I jump straight to the stock response. The Three of Wands, the stock response is waiting for your ships to come in, but it doesn't always mean that. It's very versatile. All the cards are versatile in their meanings. But the reason that I kind of jumped to that is because I saw that 5-card spread that came out with this. And I'm getting that vibe because the 5-card spread again was the Queen of Spades, which was the Queen of Swords, then the 10 of Spades. It was person in between, person in between, person. And what comes in between people is the situation between them. And what that was telling me is that this Three of Wands has a story. And the story between that Three of Wands, and I'm getting animated. God, I'm loose this reading. I don't know if that's good or bad. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If I'm getting preachy, call me out on it. Leave a comment. Please don't unsubscribe though. I love you guys. But what that tells me is that behind the Three of Wands, the meaning behind the Three of Wands, because it's trying to give us the truth, right? It's the cards are trying to say this is what's happening. So behind the Three of Wands, you have a Queen of Swords, which again, I usually love the Queen of Swords because she's real. But what you have is you have a woman who will tell you as it is, who will tell you what's happening. She's verbally very cutting. And then you have the 10 of Swords, which is the person with the 10 swords in his back. It's the 10 of Spades. And then you have the King of Pentacles. Then between the King of Pentacles is it was the 4 of Spades, which is the 4 of Swords. And then you had the Queen of Pentacles. So what you had is what looked like a verbally cutting woman, a woman who's really tearing someone down verbally or setting boundaries verbally, like you will not treat me this way, you will not do this to me. Then the 10 of Swords, which shows a very painful ending with the King of Pentacles. Then between the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, which is a couple, you see the 4 of Swords, which is take a time out. It's almost like a break to think and heal and recover. So what that tells me is that the King of Pentacles was looking at the Queen of Spades. That tells me that the King of Pentacles had a falling out with the Queen of Swords, and good luck with that one, because you're going to get 4 really angry voicemails. More than that, she'll tell you what for, and that probably is a very verbally painful ending. Then it's putting us, that situation, you know, is putting us a wedge between the King of Pentacles and his counterpart, the Queen of Pentacles, where they're taking a time out to heal and to think about the situation. So the Three of Wands, I'm not sure if the King of Pentacles went for the Queen of Swords and then royally got kind of screwed. And I'm sorry, but I can only read it that way. Again, I'm the messenger. Please don't shoot me. And then what it's doing is it's making it where there's a timeout between the actual couple of the story, which is the Queen and King of Pentacles, because they're counterparts. Now, the Three of Wands might be some kind of way that you're waiting for the situation to kind of shake itself loose, or to kind of settle, for the dust to settle. But I'll tell you, the Queen of Swords is not really, I'm not going to call her, again, if she's upright, the Queen of Spades is not the worst as long as she's upright. If she's reversed, God help you. But I think the Three of Wands is like almost like you throwing yourself into your work. Let me earn the money, let me reserve the money, because the actions from the past are bringing a result. The action, that story, that splay is going to work itself out. And once we finally have an end, you know, once we finally have all of those ships from those actions come in, we're going to have a new story. We'll have a new place to be, a new starting point in this timeline. Now, by the end of the week, I'm not going to lie, the end of the week might be a little emotionally trying. You got the moon, and wow, again, this whole deck is really powerful. If you've ever had dreams, I've had dreams like this where you're walking up kind of a steep cliff and there's doorways. But just like the regular moon card, there's a domesticated dog and there's what looks like a wolf, and there's really churning waves. Look at that. That is a rough, dark sea. And this is a last quarter moon. It's almost a new moon. So that is a wrapping up of a moon cycle. That's a wrapping up of the moon cycle. And yeah, I think you're working really hard. I think you've had some kind of third-party situation. It's definitely you between two people. And the queens don't necessarily have to be women. They can be men. So you could be the King of Pentacles and the two queens could be two men. But, or it could be true to the suit where you're a man and you had a Queen of Swords and a Queen of Pentacles. But you're very emotionally churned up. This situation, and again, threes are third-party situations, and the fact that you had a spread like that come out, you might be waiting for the dust to settle. And again, what's beautiful about this card is that if you look at my How to Tarot for the Fool, there's lilies in the Fool, and there's lilies here. And in Lenormand, lilies mean experience and it means maturity. But given the fact that it's with the moon and it's dark with this churning water, this situation has you really analyzing your emotions, and your emotions are not settled. It's not settled. It's churning up some deep-seated stuff. And by the end of the week, you're really going to be reflecting on that. I have a feeling this three-part trifecta is not going to be settled by the end of the week, and I don't want that to discourage you. You shouldn't let that make you depressed or anything. But I do think that situation is going to be weighing heavily on your mind, and it's not going to have a resolution yet. So you're going to be kind of exercising your inner demons by the end of the week, and that's not a bad thing. You can go ahead and do that. Just do it in a very healthy way. Don't let it, I know the moon is always it's a very introspective card, and it can be quite a journey. It's hard to turn inward, but you got to analyze your part in the situation. You have to analyze why the other people are responding the way that they are, and you kind of, if you have to make amends or you have to take certain actions to make it right, but do it with, you might want to analyze the emotional reasons why some of these events occurred, and that's what's going to kind of make you look at by the end of the week. but I don't want that to, it's not gloom and doom, Honestly, the Three of Wands is a very positive card. I think the introspective will be very therapeutic for you, and it's by no means a bad thing, but I think you'll have a better handle on it by the new moon. Which I think is coming up pretty quick. It's coming up soon. Once you get into the last quarter, which actually I think is the weekend of the 30th, so this is kind of playing in, I think you'll have some better understanding, but you are going to go through some soul searching to get there. Now, you got on your dice, which is really interesting, you got survival. And oh, guys, like the moon is very instinctual. And you got a wolf on this too. You got like a coyote or a wolf, and they are very instinctual. They are about survival. So I think if you are dealing with a situation that you're waiting for a resolution or you're waiting for dust to settle, you would really want to think, I think that's a key word to understand why you're working so hard. It's like, okay, what does survival mean to you? I think that's going to be an important thing to ask. What does survival mean to you, and why are you in survival mode? I've said in other readings, there's a really great song by Jewel that talks, it gets the lyric is, somehow I got stuck on survive. And I think your responses to things, maybe this pendulum swing of going from, partying to working hard, to partying to working hard, or, let me work hard and wait for my ships to come in, but then, if any, any situation involving three people, including yourself, is a result, if that's happened to you before, it seems to be some kind of survival instinct that keeps putting you in that situation, and you might want to delve deep and figure out why that keeps happening to you and what you can do to kind of temper it, because these do seem a little bit like extremes. You do kind of want to have a little bit more of a level balance, and that might be what it's asking you to kind of analyze. Now, the card that you got, the meditation card that you got, is really quite beautiful. And oh my gosh, guys, it's escape from the darkness. You got survival, the moon, and escape from darkness. And I'm just going to read this real quick. But this is the meditation that you would do, or the practice to help you kind of get that sense of peace and level. This meditation combines breath control with visualization to induce the calm state needed to solve a problem. Visualize yourself running through a forest from which there seems no escape. Realizing how panicked you are, you slow to a steady walk, and once you do so, you notice a path leading out of the forest. Focus your visualization on the steps you take along the path. Imagine that with each slow step, you take a deep breath. This will have the effect of actually regulating your breathing and therefore calming you. So I think you've been dealing with a lot, guys. I'm not sure, I'm not berating or saying that this is an easy process. I think you guys, again, the working hard and the emotional, look at this guy. Look at this guy. You're working really hard, and you're dealing with some really churning emotions. I'm feeling this in the center of my chest. I'm feeling you. And so maybe that's a good thing to do, because I do think that there's anxiety in this. So whatever situation, it's not saying who's right, who's wrong. It doesn't matter. That does not matter. What matters is that by the end of the week, you have an opportunity, and maybe doing this visualization technique, and please pause the video if you need to, but or replay the advice. But you may. I'm not real good at meditation, but I find these cards very easy to follow. That might be a meditation that you want to follow. And again, by the beginning of the week, you're going to be kind of in a hanging with friends mode. By the middle of the week, you might be working really hard, and then by the end of the week, just try to take it easy. Definitely, try not to get down with the emotional work that you need to do. All right, so deck number 2. That was your reading. Go ahead, and we'll put your stone there. All right, deck number 3. How we doing in time? Are we in focus? Deck number 3. What are the energies of your week? So deck number 3. is the energies. I did get 3 cards right off the bat, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. Okay, any clarifiers? Oh, wow, guys. Okay, I'm going to kind of use this as a clarifier. The last deck got the moon, and I try to clear my energy before I do the next reading, but I don't know, again, we're all kind of a general collective. I'm wondering if we're having a moon week. We're having a moon week. That kind of sucks. I mean, I love the moon. I have a lot of Cancer in my own chart, so, you know, the moon is not a bad thing. But, all right, gonna get to shush. So, between the High Priestess and the Three of Swords, please clarify our week. Ooh. Oh, my God, guys. Oh. What kind of week are we having? It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to read this. The tarot's going to give us advice on how to get through this schnit. But I'm not going to lie. You got the 3 of Spades and you got the 3 of Swords. It's the 3 of Swords twice. All right, let's keep on going because we're going to get the advice. We're going to get through this, you and me together, okay? This is not bad. There are no bad cards. So how do we get out of this? How do we go? Woo. Okay. 6 of Diamonds, 6 of Pentacles. Okay, all right. That's good advice. It's not bad. That's good advice. Okay, 5 of Cups on the bottom. Okay, there is a little bit of mourning over something. Okay, what is our meditation? Ooh, okay, follow your star. Oh, you got one of the best cards, guys. Okay, it's gonna get better. It always gets better. No fear. No fear. We fear nothing. Soul siblings, we fear nothing. All right. Life gets tough, we get tougher. Right on. Okay. Now this was kind of rolling off of my thumb and I wanted to include it. All right, guys. So let's get into it. Now, at the beginning of the week, you got the High Priestess. And again, I've done a How to Tarot on the High Priestess. And I think in this deck, this is the Tarot of the Southwest Sacred Tribes. And she's really quite beautiful in this deck. She does. Gosh, all of the decks, you know, encapsulate her and her neutral, impartial beauty. But the High Priestess, she is that spiritual knowing. She is the guardian between the conscious and the unconscious. So at the beginning of the week, you're gonna feel like you're in a balanced place. You're gonna feel kind of neutral. I'll be honest, you're gonna be kind of, this might relate to relationships. If you either just went through a breakup or if you've been kind of on rocky ground with someone, you're going to feel really kind of impartial by the beginning of the week. It's not necessarily, I'm not going to call it numb, but I honestly like impartial because if there's a potential for any pain, she keeps you in a mindset of a higher perspective. It's almost like if someone's done something kind of mortally crappy, if someone's done kind of a human, let me be, you know, crappy to you, petty kind of thing, the High Priestess has you do that really knowledge. She has that pause that's so wise. She has you kind of zoom out. Okay, let me zoom out instead of, you know, almost like Google Zoom, you know, instead of standing across from the person who did you wrong or who's messing you around, the High Priestess lets you zoom out and kind of see the big picture. And that's going to be the zone or the energy that you're in the beginning of the week, which is an excellent place to be. You're going to see the situation from a higher ground, from a very knowledgeable place. And your emotions are not going to be really entangled in it. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now, the bridge to the middle of the week, this is becoming like an inverse triangle now that I see it, but I might make that a spread. You got the 3. Now, what's happening is the bridge to the middle of the week and the energy of the middle of the week is the 3 of Spades and the 3 of Swords. and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but the Three of Swords is heartbreak. It's what it can also be is it can be separation. It can be separation, but basically you're hurting. You're going to be mentally hurting. You might feel what might happen is by the middle of the week you might get some kind of news of some kind of, I'm not going to say a betrayal, but it's just going to be something that brings you heartache, something that's going to make you feel separated from someone. It's going to feel like a mental just kind of stab. And it's going to be due to a third person's influence. It's going to be something that's coming in and causing a lot of, it's going to be emotional pain that stems from some kind of news. And I'm not going to, this isn't gloom and doom. This isn't saying that you're going to get bad news. All it's saying is that you're going to feel very mentally kind of pained by the middle of the week. Now, this might be something that happened before. The other vibe that I'm getting is that maybe you've had some kind of loss recently and you're kind of going through the waves. Maybe one day you're really feeling on top of it, like, okay, you know, maybe you had a breakup with someone, or maybe you've lost someone. It could be a pet. It could be, you know, it could be a spouse. It could be a parent. It could be a friend. And to be honest, I unfortunately I've had probably about, I know of about 5 people who have gone through some kind of personal loss. And right now, this time of year is coming up on anniversaries of the loss. Like they, you know, and it being close to the holidays. So it could be that. This does not have to be a fresh pain. This isn't saying, you know, oh, okay, be scared as crap of Wednesday because you're going to get bad news. No. What it just might be is that you might have already gone through a pain, or, again, I had a dear friend who lost a dog, and it was very unexpected, and he was the sweetest dog in the world, and I knew him. I knew the dog, and it was like, you know, it's just one of those things where when, you know, and that person has a lot of work that they have to do right now, so they don't have time to grieve. I'm kind of getting that vibe, where again, one day you might feel like you're really kind of seeing the big picture, and then the next day it's the anniversary of some special day with someone that you lost, or, you know, something happens and it just kind of triggers that heartbreak, triggers that pain, and you're feeling it full force. You might be kind of in that energy by the middle of the week. So it's just kind of letting you know. And again, we all have highs and lows with our emotions. You might be feeling like you're in a good place, and then all of a sudden it goes back to the low. Now, the descriptor that came across, you know, underneath was the moon. And actually, this is what makes me think, yes, you're going to have highs and lows, because the moon is, you see, it's those churning emotions. The last deck got the moon too. And what it is you have a domesticated dog, and you see the domesticated dog has a little bit of wolf inside of him. The other one is a wolf that has a little bit of dog in him, right? And then you have a crustacean in the middle. But what it is the moon card. And actually the last deck, again, if you look at the last reading, it's the same thing. It's the wolf and the domesticated dog. And you know what it is? I have a whole blog post about this, but the moon is a very complex card in the fact that it's like a persona. We've evolved as humans, and, you know, we've evolved as humans where we keep our emotions in check. We say, okay, we're civilized. I'm not going to go batshit crazy because, you know, I've had a heartbreak. I'm going to be immature. I'm going to be this. And doesn't all that go right out the window the moment something emotionally triggers you, right? And you don't even have to have water in your chart for that to happen. It's like the moment that, you know, a memory or a physical reminder, an ex, you cross paths with an ex suddenly and unexpectedly, and then all of a sudden you're just like, one minute you were the high priestess, the next minute you are delving the depths of what the hell, you know, why am I feeling so angry? Why am I feeling so upset? Why am I, you know, just in the throes of all of this, you know, emotional slush? And I think that's what it's telling you, is that there's just going to be kind of some highs and lows, and you might need to ride the waves. It's not telling you, tarot never, I know you get some scary cards sometimes, but don't feel like it's gloom and doom and that you have bad news coming by the middle of the week. It's not like that. I have a feeling that your emotions are going to be up and down, and you might have to surf the waves. Get your surfboard ready is what it's telling you, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Now the bridge to the end of the week, and things will get better by the end of the week. You got some beautiful cards wrapping up the week, so just get to Friday. Get to Friday, stick it out. But the Six of Pentacles is, traditionally it is that card of giving and receiving. So what that tells me is it's giving and receiving in equal measure. What this is telling me is that I have a feeling, and the end of the week you got the Hermit. And the Hermit is the guy who is going up into the mountaintops to understand his life. He's getting perspective, right? He's getting perspective. He's walking away from civilization in order to be alone and to get some perspective. And I think what's happening is that you don't like, it's like, okay, one minute I'm feeling normal, the next minute I'm at the bottom of the ocean. I need some time to figure out what's happening. So by the end of the week, you're like, okay, I can't live this way. I'm not going to go, I do not want to continue being up and down and up and down. Let me figure out what's going on with me. But the Six of Pentacles, the way that I read this is that you are going through some deep emotional changes. And the Six of Pentacles tells me that as you are going into yourself, don't be afraid to ask for help. You see the gold and the reds in his cloak, and the golds and the reds of the Six of Pentacles. There are people, the Six of Pentacles shows a rich man giving money to the poor. And what that does, it doesn't mean that you're poor and someone else is rich, and it doesn't mean anyone's going to give you $1,000. I would love that. If they want to give me $1,000, I would be grateful. But what it tells me is that if you are feeling low or you don't know what to do, there is someone out there who has been through exactly what you've been through, and the universe really wants to send them your way. If you feel like you're going through the highs and lows and you need help, there are people who have been in the exact same spot that you have. They've ridden the roller coaster that you're riding right now, and they can really help you cope. And they can help you figure out what to do next, because that's the Hermit. The Hermit is, what do I do next? I'm really spiraling here. I can't keep going, up and down and up and down. And the Moon seems to be a very constant energy for the next week. The last two decks, the middle deck, deck 2, and you got it. So, we really got to watch that. It's the Moon surprises you, because if you have psychological things, you can push them down. It's almost, I always think of it like a cork. If you push down a cork, what does it do? It'll go down for a little while, but then it will pop back up somewhere completely unexpected. It'll kind of go under, and then it'll like And that's what I'm kind of seeing. That cork is popping up. You're pushing something down, and one minute you're like, I'm fine, everything's on fire, but you're like, I'm fine. Have you ever seen that meme? You see that dog sitting in the cafe and everything's on fire, and he's like, I'm fine. The High Priestess does not lie. You really are in a good place when you see her, but if the next step is, okay, I'm getting triggered, and all of a sudden I have these psychological reactions and I have no freaking clue where they're coming from, you do need to retreat, and you may need the advice. You might need help from someone. It doesn't necessarily mean a counselor. It doesn't have to be like psychological help, but you might want to talk to someone who's been through what you're going through, to help you figure out what to do next. Now, the two tiles that you got, the first one you got was Death, and I don't want you to freak out. That's like the Death card. It just means transformation. And you got Fear. You got Fear. And let me tell you, oh my God, guys, fear really plays into the moon. It plays into the moon. But the Death that I'm feeling, when I see Death, I really think that you've been through a loss. And I'm so sorry, guys. Whatever loss that you went through, I'm so sorry. If I could hug you, I would. And I do think it's the highs and lows of grieving. And actually that came out, the Five of Cups, Holy Toledo. Yeah, the Five of Cups was on the bottom of the deck. And that's mourning something. That's mourning something. And I do think that you've lost someone. And again, it could be an animal, it could be a person. I'm not really getting the vibe that it's a breakup. It could be a breakup. But I'm getting more of this is someone that actually passed, and you're getting triggered. But by the end of the week, you're going to recognize that you're being triggered, and you're going to want to get a handle on it. And I do think that there are people out there to help you. There are people out there who have been through what you're going through, and there's absolutely no shame. Don't be afraid. The Hermit's a very solitary card. He wants to go off by himself. But what the Six of Pentacles is saying is that before you go off on yourself, before you take that trek up to the mountaintops, talk to someone first. You don't have to have someone helping you every step of the way, but you may want to get advice before you do the meditation, before you go into yourself. Talk to someone first, or at least get a little bit of guidance by someone who's gone through what you've gone through. And what this is telling me is there are people out there. The universe has people at the ready, and it's this loss, what you're going through, has you in a lot of fear. It has you a lot of fear. And you know what happens is that so many people, it's not like that, but isn't it amazing how you don't realize, you don't even get a chance to grieve sometimes because there's other more pressing factors, like if you have to pay for a funeral, or the other person that's on, your spouse is on the mortgage with you and you have to figure out how to pay a mortgage. You don't even have time to mourn the fact that you've lost your other half. And that's what I'm kind of feeling like too, is that there's a lot of fear here. There's fear, there's loss, and there's transformation, and there's fear, and there's guidance. Believe me, I'm just getting this really strong vibe to tell you that there's someone in your vicinity that has been through what you're been through and can help guide you, can coach you to say, yes, oh God, it sucks. This, no one ever tells you that, oh God, you're gonna have to, worry about this stuff on top of mourning. But seek out that person before you go up into the mountaintops. Go into the mountaintops and pull into yourself and do that introspection. But before you do, talk to someone. And there is someone around you that can help. There's someone, and if you need help, ask the universe. I know you don't have to be a real spiritual person to do that. You don't have to believe in God, but if you believe in God, ask God. If you believe in the universe, whatever spiritualism that you are, if you're agnostic or atheist, just say, please send me a sign. May I be directed towards the person that would help me with this. Now, to wrap up the reading, your meditation, and let me tell you, this is probably just like the Star card. Guys, this means hope. This means hope. It's such a pretty card. I love getting this card. And what it is the meditation is follow your star. And I'm not trying to blow sunshine, but I'm telling you, after that reading, this is good news. And it's whenever you feel anxious or unsure about a decision facing you, seek guidance from your inner star, your intuition. Sit with your elbows on a table and rest your face in your hands, cupping your palms over your eyes. Feel the warmth of your hands permeating your eyes. Visualize a star in your forehead just above and between the eyes. This star radiates positive energy through your consciousness and fills you with the confidence to be directed to the right choices. Oh, that's so perfect, guys. And honestly, the place in your forehead is your third eye chakra. And what did they say about that? Seek guidance from your inner star, your intuition. What does the Hermit do? He goes within. He goes within, right? And the answer is within you. And I love the fact, imagine that. Put elbows and just cover your eyes. Gosh, that almost seems like a real childlike pose. But gosh, that sounds comforting. It's like, okay, let the palms of your hands send energy. And that's the palms of your hands. Let the energy bubble through you and kind of put that energy towards your face. And But yeah, I hope that's helpful for you guys. I do, I don't like, I always love it when the weekly energies are, a happy medium, when they're not too cheery and not too blow sunshine either, because that just kind of feels a little, insincere. But I hope things get better for you. Whatever your situation, my thoughts and my good energies are with you. That sounds, it sounds like a journey, guys. But don't despair. You're strong, and I know things will work out. So. I hope those. I was so glad to do those meditation cards again. I was very guided to use them, and I'm glad we did, because we had a few really deep readings. So, but we are coming up on the holidays. This would be the week of Thanksgiving. So I hope. You know what, guys? Now that I think about it, that's probably it. Is that Thanksgiving? It's when everybody, if you're getting together with family, that's when you're reminded of a lot of stuff, right? I should have thought of that going into the reading. I don't know why, don't mind me. But now, just to reiterate, if you liked the deck, if you liked the card deck that we use, these are playing cards. So you can play Go Fish, you can play Rummy, you can play Blackjack, you can play poker, and they're coffee themed cards, and they're really darn cute. And if you want to be entered to win, again, just leave a comment. It can be an emoji. If it's an emoji, please leave me a cute one. Peaches and eggplants are all good, but if I don't know you like that, all right, keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. No, I'm kidding. Leave me a coffee emoji. That would make my day. But yes, again, it's a $5 gift card. It's all Starbucks. It's a $5 gift card. The deck of cards unopened, and you get this cute little bag that it's a little imperfect, but I made it, and it's very sturdy. You could use it again for a holiday gift or whatever you like. So leave a comment and I will enter you in. And other than that, I hope you have a good week, and my thoughts, my energy are with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, guys? All right, bye.